Hello, my name is Gunawan, and this is my ethical reflection based on the role-based simulation with City Confectionery. In this presentation, I will explore the ethical framework, decision-making process, cultural awareness, and key learning that shape our team recommendation. Now, let me start by explaining the purpose of this reflection. This personal reflection is an analysis of my performance in the City Confectionery role-play. I will discuss the role of ethical theories in our team decision-making, how our advice could affect different stakeholders. To give more context, here's a quick summary of the role-play scenario. During the roleplay, PP noticed youngster working in the facility of City Confectionery supplier and reported what they believed to be a possible case of child labor. In order to address this ethical question, PP assembled an investigative team that included me, meeting with the city leadership team, questioning them, and evaluating their responses. Now let's explore the key ethical issue we identified. Underage children in the City Confectionery supply chain were the main ethical issue. This contradicts the ILO Minimum Age Convention, which defines 15 as the minimum employment age. Next, I'd like to highlight who was affected by this issue. At the core are the children and their families, who may depend on the revenue yet are vulnerable to exploitation. The provider face business and reputation loss. City Confectionery oversees ethical supply chains. PLP Health Snack must maintain independent integrity, especially among ethical Astra consumers who want honesty and responsibility from they support. Here is the framework we use. Our role recommendation was heavily influenced by Datic-based framework. Morality of all consequences is the basis of the Kant philosophy. Category imperatives state that we must act as we would like to become universal law. Whatever the financial reward, child labor undermines children's dignity and right. We also supported our thinking with the other framework. We examined the long-term impact of our decision in terms of utility on children, family, supplier, and brand reputation. The goal was to maximize benefit while minimizing harm. At the same time, virtue ethics emphasized the need to act with integrity rather than simply following regulation. It made me consider the type of person I want to be, one of who value fairness and human decency. Based on those considerations, here was our final recommendation. Our group suggested that PP Health Snack keep working with City Confectionery, but under very strict terms. Some of these were full audit of the supplier by a third party, openness to the public, and rather than ethical sourcing policy that forbids child labor. Let's now look at how cultural awareness played a role in this experience. From my experience as an Indonesian, I know that child labor is sometimes viewed as an essential component of family survival in many underdeveloped nations. On the other hand, this conduct is considered a grave ethical transgression in Australia. By taking into account the economic reality of these communities during the roleplay, I was able to exercise empathy, but I also came to the realization that empathy cannot excuse exploitation. The team interaction was also critical in shaping our thinking. We had a great-time interaction with the city executive team throughout the roleplay. The CSO recognized current policy gaps and demonstrated a since desire for change, while the CFO worries about financial risk, and the CEO emphasized the significance of safeguarding the company reputation. I learned how difficult it may be to make moral judgment after hearing this opposing argument. This experience taught me that in order to make a difference with my ethical action, I need to have conversation, listen to other people, and be open to seeing things from different angles. One of the big challenges we faced was the ethical dilemma. We were deciding between maintaining a profitable partnership and responding firmly to a serious human rights concern. On one hand, ending the partnership could hurt both companies financially. On the other hand, continuing without change would ignore the ethical issue. Through the open discussion, our team agreed on middle path, continue the partnership, but only with strict ethical conditions. The decision reflected both principle and pragmatism, a commitment to do the right thing while understanding real-world business constraints. This experience also taught me a lot about myself. I used to believe that having strong ethical conviction was enough, but I have learned that How I communicate with them is also important. I learn to actively listen, question assumptions, and think critically before reacting. I also gain a confidence in raising my concern, even when the conversation was difficult. And this lesson will definitely influence how I act in the future. The skill I have honed in this workplace will serve in my professional life. Now that I know there are ethical dangers lurking in supply chains, I will make it a point to research a company's CSR policies and guiding principle before applying. Even when I'm under pressure to compromise, I intend to make decisions based on my ethical framework. I intend to advocate for honesty and fairness whenever I encounter wrongdoing. That brings me to the end of this reflection. Thank you, and here are my references. Thank you.